Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today I'm going to be doing my build for Doctor Who The Collection Season 16. How I would build it up if I was assembling it. Like if Lee Binding was suddenly like, how should I do this? I mean, he wouldn't because he's amazing. He's got this all planned out. But hypothetically, if he was like, Prowl, I need you. How would you build this up? I'd be like, don't worry, Lee, I got you. I got you. This is what I would do. The main color would be the purple that the key to time is. That shade that the key to time is, that shade of purple, violet, whatever you want to call it. That would be the primary color. Kind of like the Season 9 one, but again, not quite this dark. But while not being quite as light as what's here, that looks a little too light. That looks a little closer. But you guys know what color the key to time is. You've seen the episodes. Let's not fool ourselves. You know, if you're watching this video, you know. But I would have the whole box set like that, like the Season 9 one. And I would have the logo the same color. I know sometimes like in Season 10 and stuff, the logo is a different color than the primary color on the thing, kind of like the Colin Baker sets too. I would have it also this color like the Season 9, just again a lighter color. Because to me, that's just the primary color I think of when I think of this season. You see it on the UK limited edition of the Key to Time DVD set. The background is that kind of light purple Key to Time color. So to me, that's a no-brainer. That is the one. I'm like, it has to be this. Well, that and blue for Season 11 for the, stone for Planet of the Spiders. But, I mean, it has to be. It's just kind of a given. To do anything else would just be silly, since the Key to Time affects the whole season. I would have Tom either holding a segment of the key or holding the tracer, or if they wanted to swap it up, he could be holding the whole key in both hands, like the Key to Time. Instead of just holding something in one hand, you could go a little off ball, kind of like how Season 17 has him holding his hat in his left hand instead of something in his right hand. He could be holding the whole key, but holding it kind of down with a light coming out of it. And that light coming out of it's where you could have all the enemies kind of popping up from. So he'd be holding the key kind of down, kind of like how the logo covers up his Sonic on the Season 12. He could be holding it low, so it's primarily just his body you're seeing. You could do it that way, so you have the whole key on the cover, kind of like the DVD sets, like having the whole assembled key. You could do that, just have it holding it low, and with all the light coming out of it's where all the enemies are kind of popping up from. But if you want to go more traditional, he could be holding a segment in his right hand or the tracer in his right hand. Now, if Lee wants to go with a specific story for the front cover, I think Stones of Blood is a good one because your background could be the hyperspace. Because I think hyperspace is kind of that purple color. I think there's a lot of like violet purple in this season. I think if I remember right, hyperspace is kind of that purplish color, isn't it? If I remember right, kind of similar to the key. Or is it? I forget. I need to watch Stones of Blood again. I can't remember if it's a red or if it's more of a purple color. But if it's a purplish color, that would make a perfect background. You could even have the ship kind of there somewhere in the background if you wanted, even if it's just a little speck floating. But if you want it completely abstract, you could just have that. I'm sure Lee would embellish it, add his little touches, make it look even better than it does on the program, like he does with a lot of cool paintings he does. That would make a great background. And then you could have Tom in his, Stones of Blood outfit. Not the wig. Don't put the wig on there. And of course, for enemies, for Ribos Operation, you got to have the Grath of Vindicay. Of course, I love the Grath of Vindicay. The guy who plays him so well. He's one of the reasons I love Ribos Operation. Ribos, whatever it is. I love that story. And you could also have kind of his right-hand man, the older guy who just kind of follows the Grath of Vindicay. The one person the Grath seems to actually care about beside himself. You could have him there too. For the pirate planet, got to be the captain, and he could be off facing this way. Like the Grath would probably be facing this way. The captain from Pirate Planet would be facing kind of this way. And I think you should have the parrot perched on him. I think you should have the captain with the bird on him right here. That would be perfect. The captain's so iconic to classic Doctor Who for me. I love the captain. For Stones of Blood, I think you have the witch, the female, the evil female, in her like true form with the silver, holding her staff, kind of leaning out, probably to the right. You could also have an ogre, one of the Stonehenge stones, kind of glowing and easing out. For the androids of Tara, you have I forget his name, the Count or whatever his name is, the same guy who played the pilot in Macroterra. You know who I'm talking about. You know, you kind of have him looking out this way. For Power of Kroll, you have Kroll, and I think that's the top image, the one that's kind of like where Kronos is, you know, right here, and the Master is right here. That top one, I think you have Kroll kind of looming down like he does with his tentacles going everywhere. That would be a good one for that. And then I think for Armageddon Factor, you got to have the Shadow, also probably leaning out this way, because that's usually the profile you see him in when he's leaning out this way. You could also have the Captain that's in it, the bad Captain Admiral, whatever. He's the guy with the gray hair. He's got the thing on his neck. You could have him on it too if you wanted. But if you're just going to do one, you got to do the Shadow. You could do the Black Guardian, but I feel like I don't know how you would make that work with him being, you know, his colors inverted to look negative like he does when he reveals himself as the Black Guardian. Like a negative film. I don't know how well that would translate on there. Plus, I like the fact that's kind of a hidden surprise. Save the Black Guardian for Season 20. I think I forgot to mention that when I talked about Season 20. Got to have the Black Guardian on Season 20. I mean, front and center. But I think I'd just have the Shadow. I think that would work. If you do Stones of Blood from the front, I know Lee likes to do different stories, different parts of the booklet. For the back, there's a couple you could do here. For the back cover, I really think Pirate Planet would be a good one for the back. You could do the scene when the planet, the vampire planet, the pirate planet, is trying to materialize around Califrax or Earth, and the TARDIS is trying to materialize at the same time, them canceling each other out. Now, it doesn't actually show that in the show from the outside view. So I think it would be cool if Lee kind of took some creative license, like Macroterra style, and just created his own version of what that would look like. Both of them trying to materialize in the same place and how that would look. I think that would be really, really cool for the back cover. For the inner flap that opens up to the booklet, there's a couple here that would work. Ribos Operation would be good, the spot where the TARDIS lands, because you do see that scene like 2 or 3 times in the story where it's sitting. And so that one would be a good one. You could have, you know, the Dr. and Romana in her white outfit there talking. Or the one I would prefer, you could do Androids of Terra. Tara? My mind is blanking on me. The Androids of Tara, you could do that one right when they arrive on that planet, on Tara. And you could have them standing right outside the TARDIS with, you know, the Dr. and Romana, because I am so there for Romana's outfit in Androids of Tara. That could be one of my favorite things about the story. That purple outfit she wears, which I believe Mary Tam designed or picked out herself, looks phenomenal. And again, that's another bit of purple. I mean, it's a darker purple than the crystal. That's more like that. But it's still another instance of purple in the season. And I am there for that outfit. It looks phenomenal on her. Mary Tam is probably one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. She's such a talented actress. And that outfit just looks amazing on her. So I think you could have them standing there on the flap like they've just come out of the TARDIS. Disc art. Now, how many discs does this need? I think you could do it in 7. There's 6 stories, so you could do 6 discs plus a bonus disc for 7, or you could do 8. I think a lot of it would depend on if something has updated effects and which story. We'll talk about that in a minute. The first disc, I think you just have the Doctor and Romana on it. Most of the time, I think the first disc in a set usually has, you know, the Doctor and the companion. That's, I think, standard for the most part at this point, I think. So you have the Doctor, you have Romana for Ribos Operation. For Pirate Planet, you got to have the Captain. I mean, you can put the bird on there too, or the Captain and the nurse. But you got to have the Captain. I just love that. He's so iconic. I love the Captain. For Stones of Blood, you could have Tom Baker in the wig. That'd be funny. I still think I would do the woman, the witch, the evil one, in her evil form with the staff. Or you could just have a couple Ogre on there. For the Androids of Tara, I would definitely have Mary Tam in that purple outfit. I love it. And the fact that Mary Tam plays 4 different characters in this story, I think you have multiple Mary Tams. You could put 2, 3, 4 Mary Tams on it. You know, have one here, maybe one here. At least more than one, I think. Because she plays like 4 characters in that story. And that outfit, again, I love that outfit. So I think you should have Mary Tam in her purple on the disc. For the Power of Prowl, I think you have Prowl. I just think you have Prowl. He would look just good on a disc, you know, tentacles just all over the disc. That would be good. You got to have Prowl. And for disc 6, I think you could do K9. He's heavily in the story. Or you could do the Shadow. Or you could do the Black Guardian there. The Black Guardian would work well, I think, on the disc art there. Or the Shadow and the Black Guardian. That could be interesting. And then for the bonus disc, if there's only 7 discs, of course, the TARDIS. That's kind of standard. You do the TARDIS, so you can set the TARDIS on there. Now, if they do updated effects for this season, there's only 2 stories I think really needed. The one I think needs it the most is Pirate Planet, because I'm always a sucker for improved lasers. That's my favorite kind of updated effect. Don't get me wrong, I like when some of the space shots get updated a lot too, like in Revenge of the Cybermen, but I love me some updated laser effects. That really helps me. Like Earthshock, my favorite thing about Earthshock, updated laser effects. Day of the Daleks, okay, my favorite thing about Day of the Daleks is the updated Dalek voices. But other than that, laser effects. I love some updated laser effects. And Pirate Planet has some crappy effects for its guns. You know, you just see the little dot. Also, the sound effects for their guns suck. I love Pirate Planet, but the laser stuff sucks. No laser beams and a crappy sound. I need laser beams and a better sound for them firing. That's right. That's what I need for that. And then there are some other stuff they could do better with that. You know, like when the Mentats or whatever they're called, whenever they create force fields or use their psychic powers on people, they could really clean up the bit when it hits it with the wrench. That looks really bad. I love Pirate Planet. That scene when they smack it with the spanner or whatever looks terrible. You could, I don't know, somehow do that better. But if you did updated effects for that, I don't think you need an extra disc for that, because it's only a 4-episode story, so that would only be 8 episodes on a disc. You could do that, I think, no problem. So I still think Pirate Planet would only need 1 disc, and it would be a good 7-disc set. I mean, season 17 is only a 7-disc set. Now, the other one is Armageddon Factor, because I do think there are several spots in Armageddon Factor where you can do some nice updated effects if the budget allows for it. You know, not all sorts of spaceship scenes, countdowns, all sorts of stuff going on. Laser beams that could be updated. You could do a lot to make Armageddon Factor look better. And that being a 6-parter, if you did updated effects, I could see that one getting a second disc, like a special edition disc or something like that, to make it 8 discs, which again is fine. Most of the sets I think are about 8 discs. So 7 or 8 discs, depending on which one gets updated effects. If anything from this season gets updated effects, since they kind of have started to get away from that. Now, part of the reasons they've gotten away from that could be just the restoration work that's been needed on these, like season 2, of course. We're talking 16 millimeter telerecordings, not original video masters, plus the 37 episodes they had to do. Season 9, 15 out of the 26 stories are not the original masters, and so doing a lot of cleanup on those probably took a lot of the budget. But with season 16, all of the masters survived, so maybe they've got some budget left over to get us some updated effects again. So 7 or 8 discs, that's how I would do it. That's how I would make season 16. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. Comment down below and let me know what you think of my idea and how you would do season 16. I would like to know your plan for that. So I'd either like to hear your thoughts in the comment or a reaction video if you're also a fellow YouTuber discussing your ideas. So comment down below and let me know other things to do. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon if you like what I do and would like to contribute to what I do. There is a link to that down in the description as well. Several different tiers there to choose from. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, who recently just moved from my $15 tier to my $20 tier. I really appreciate that, Colin. Thank you. Unknown289 and Dr. Finn Perkins. I appreciate your support just as I appreciate the support of all of my patrons. I very much do. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review, Doctor Who related or sci-fi related or otherwise. And I also have a link to my Amazon wish list down there as well. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.